Hey there, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm going to be telling you about a product that is not even out yet, but I'm really excited about it. And I'm going to show you why, I'm going to show you what it is, but it is a world first, and they're getting ready to turn on their Indiegogo sort of like Kickstarter type of thing here really soon. So if you're interested in this, you should be able to get a really good deal on it if you're an early adopter. But that is the Litheli Frozenpack. This thing is the world's first backpack refrigerator. So if you think that you have a need for a refrigerator that is really portable, can be plugged into your vehicle or run off battery, and can be carried like a backpack, stay tuned to learn more about this cool product.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so this is the Litheli Frozenpack. As you can see, it's a really nice looking sort of fridge backpack. All right, so let's start with the outside and kind of talk about all the features and everything that you're gonna see here on the bag. And then I'm gonna hook it up. I'm gonna actually plug it in using the battery. I'm gonna kind of show you how it functions and everything. But I'm gonna start by showing you the outside, then I'm gonna show you everything that comes with the refrigerator, and then we're gonna walk through functionality. So starting with the material that it's made out of, this is a waterproof TPU material. So if you spill something on it, or if it starts raining or whatever, this is gonna hold up really well to that, because it's basically just a waterproof TPU type of material. It does have a lot of Velcro on it, which actually I really like this, because, you know, for me as an overlander, I could throw some patches on here. You could stick stuff to it. A lot of their bags, so they've got all these sort of storage bags. This is for the battery down here. And then the other side is where this 12-volt plug comes. So if you wanna plug it into your vehicle, you can access that through this pouch. But then these other two, they just have some storage pouches on the side. So let's say you were taking sandwiches or something and you wanted to throw some condiments in here, or silverware, you know, plasticware, plastic forks and knives, whatever. You've got some storage bags, but they are all Velcro. So they all attach to these little sort of almost like molly panels on the side. But so you could hypothetically Velcro them up here. You could Velcro other things. You could use it to attach stuff to it. Then there are these clips on the front, which kind of hold down the lid. When you fold that back, on the inside here, you've got more molly attachment stuff. So again, if you wanted to, you know, take these off and maybe turn this into almost like a serving platform where people can access the fridge, but then you could also hang these up here, let's say with your plasticware in them, you could hang them up through these molly panels. So you could use these for a variety of things. Also on top here is more Velcro, right? And this little container here that comes with it is also Velcro, so that you can stick that under there. And then basically what that does is it puts some bend in the top of this, so that again, if water were to come down or if it would start to rain or anything, it's going to run off of it. But this thing is also a storage pouch, which is pretty handy. Now what I've got in here, and I'm not sure if this is how you're supposed to use it, because again, this thing isn't even out yet, so there's not a ton of information, but they actually provide this really nice, really thick back strap. So it's kind of like a waist strap for the bag. But it has a really nice big padded section for your back, because again, this is a refrigerator, so it is fairly heavy. I'm going to take it in, I'm going to throw it on the scales here in a second. I'm going to show you exactly how much it weighs. But there are these sort of Velcro things in here that you can use to break this up. But so again, you could store whatever you want in here. Let's say that you attach this to the bag so that you could carry it and you always use the waist strap. You could put other stuff in here like silverware or napkins or paper towels or whatever. And then you could store those up on top of the fridge here. Now on both sides, there are these kind of TPU waterproof covers for these handles that are Velcroed on. And then as I mentioned, there's a couple of these little bags, one on each side. So when you open those up, they are zippable and they've got these clips, but there's just tons of room in there for whatever you want to put in there, whatever you want to carry with you. As I mentioned, then the DC plug came out of here. So this smaller bag down here, you're going to see in there sort of a standard 12-volt plug. So if you have other refrigerators or cords for refrigerators, or let's say you've hardwired a refrigerator previously in your vehicle, you could just plug your existing cord in here, because it's the standard sort of 12-volt refrigerator plug, which I really like. Or if you are just, you know, taking it to a sporting event or whatever, you could plug this into your DC port or cigarette lighter inside of your car, and then again run it right into there, so you don't have to eat up the battery that will allow you to run it remotely. And on the front here, you've got some webbing. So again, you could strap some stuff in here, maybe buns or, you know, again, a paper towel, roll of paper towels or something like that. You can use that to attach stuff to the bag, which is just a nice extra sort of way to store stuff. And then down here, you've got your controls and your display. And then in here, obviously, is the compressor. So now let's open this thing up and take a look inside. One thing that I really like is that the lid, and you'll see this in a second, it closes really tightly on the inside, and then it's also got these zippers that help keep it shut. So you're not gonna have to worry about, as you're walking, this thing coming open or losing all of its, you know, refrigeration because it bounces open. As far as the temps this thing will do, it will do -4 up to 68 degrees. So you could, again, run this as a freezer, or you could run it as a refrigerator. It also says that it will rapidly cool in 15 minutes. So when you plug it in, it gets cold really quick, probably because of the small size and the efficiency of the compressor. So when we open this up, the only thing that I've kind of noticed, and this could be from shipping or something too, is that because of the tight fit of the lip here on the inside, I do have some sort of nicking there, but I don't think that hurts anything, but I'm just pointing it out. Again, this is a pre-production model, so aside from that, this thing is in excellent shape and there doesn't seem to be any problems. There just seems to be like just the tiniest bit of rubbing happening between those lips. Now there is a nice foam insert that runs all the way around both the top and the bottom that helps seal it up really tight. And then in here, I've got a couple of batteries. So there are 4 amp hours and they come with a 3-year warranty, which is really nice. The capacity of these is about 74 watt hours. So they say that these will run the fridge for about 5 to 6 hours. So again, if I've got 2 of them, then I ought to be able to run the fridge for about 10 to 12 hours if I swapped them out. That gives me quite a bit of time to like spend at a sporting event or anything like that. And then as you can see down in here, they actually maximize the space. So they say compared to fridges of the same size, that this one is 77% bigger than those fridges. Just because of the way that they've designed it and because of the small size of the compressor that's underneath it here. But again, you could get quite a bit of food and drinks in here if you are looking to. Now I'm gonna put the weight of the fridge backpack up on the screen because it is pretty heavy, as you would expect. It is a refrigerator with backpack straps. But as we move around to the back here, let me show you the straps because I want to point out how comfortable they are. So basically these come detached from the bag. They attach via these clips up here with these, there's basically Velcro inside of there, and then there's these buttons, and then they attach via these like carabiners down at the bottom. But then you can adjust them, obviously customize them to your height and make sure that it's super comfortable for you. It's got this nice padding back here for your back, and then again with that waist strap there too. The comfy part of the waist strap goes right back here between your back and the unit so that it's nice and comfortable and it gives you extra support. Now one thing to point out is, since you're going to be carrying this, right, it's probably not going to be upright, and typically with fridges you want to keep them straight up and down, or it could risk, you know, messing up the Freon and potentially damaging the compressor. This is designed to go up to a 40-degree angle, so I wouldn't recommend, you know, turning it upside down or laying it down or anything in your vehicle. I would always set it upright like this, but it does allow for a good amount of sideways movement, or if you're hiking up a trail or something with this thing, then you can carry it up to a 40-degree angle without worrying about damaging the compressor. So that's pretty nice that they thought about that too, because of its functionality and portability. Okay, so but that is the bulk of the exterior, and now you've seen the interior in here as well. So now let's move on to function. Let's throw a battery in it and let's check it out. I've already charged them both, so they should be at 100%. So we are just gonna plug it in, and then I'm gonna walk you through the display here. All right, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be doing it one-handed because of course I'm holding the camera, but this is the battery. Now, another thing that's nice is they do include, and it's back here in the back, a USB-C charging cable. So like most things nowadays, these things charge off of a standard USB-C. You can see you can also use it as a power bank where it's got a USB-A on here. And then these two, minus and positive, these are the ones that are actually gonna plug in to your bag. So you kind of see those prongs down there. This thing actually just sits down on those prongs, and then you zip this closed and it holds it in that container really tight so that the battery doesn't move. But you're just gonna kind of push it in there and then slide it down. Now on the top here is a button. When you hit that, it's gonna turn on the power. And then when you do that, you're gonna hold the power button over here and you're gonna see that display light up. Now maybe a little bit hard to catch just because of the way cameras work with this stuff. Now it shows you up here too that it is in max mode, so it's in max cooling mode. It's currently 22 degrees Celsius, and I've got it set to go down to 10 degrees Celsius, so it's gonna cool down to that temperature. Now if you just tap the settings button, then it changes from max to eco mode. So just tapping that is how you quick change between Eco, which tries to preserve your battery, and Max mode, which gets it cold as quick as possible. So if you hold the settings button for a few seconds, you'll see the letters PR pop up, which I believe is program. And then you'll see there's 3 rows of lines here. If you hit the minus, it goes to 2 and then down to 1. If you hit the plus, it goes up to 2 and back up to 3. What I would guess this is probably battery protection. So again, if you have it plugged into your vehicle, if you have it at 3, that means it's gonna shut it off as early as possible, would be my guess. That's probably the max battery protection, because it wants to protect your car's battery so that it doesn't drain it and leave you stranded. Down to 1 would probably be the minimum as far as battery protection goes. To set your temperature, you don't have to do anything with the settings. You just tap either the negative or the positive. Then you can, click it down to whatever you want. It does not appear that there's a way to switch from Celsius to Fahrenheit, or if there is, I'm not aware of it. As far as the insulation goes, it does have a triple layer build to it. So it is built out of really good materials, and it's really thick as far as the sidewall goes for something like this. And also as far as noise goes, again, it is running right now, but it's so quiet you almost can't hear it. They say that it's around 35 decibels, and most fridges that you would have like in your car, portable car fridges, are around 40 to 45. So it's significantly quieter than a lot of those. It's basically about a whisper is about how quiet it is. All right, guys, so as you just saw, it's about 26.8 pounds. I'll call it 27 pounds. That's with a battery, with a 12-volt plug, with all the things that come with it, all the accessories, but nothing else. So if you load this thing up with plasticware, with food, with drinks and things like that, it is going to get heavier. So that is the only sort of downside to this, is obviously it's going to be fairly heavy when you get it loaded up. But again, the fact that you have refrigerated food and or drink that you can take with you portably that's battery powered is a really cool thing to have as well. But I wanted to show you kind of me picking this thing up. So again, with 27 pounds, I mean, I'm not a huge guy, but I'm not a tiny guy either, but I just wanted to kind of show you this. I do not have the waist strap on, just the shoulder straps. That's been pretty comfortable for me. I've kind of been walking around with it. I took it on a trip last weekend and sort of tested it out too. It did keep my food all really nice and cold. It did a good job. I had some Pepsis in there, some bottles of water, and like some condiments and stuff, and it did just fine. It was like a regular fridge. I mostly just ran it off my 12-volt that I've got built into my vehicle with an extra battery, so that was kind of nice. But again, if I needed to pop it out and throw a battery in it, I could do that, take it over by a campfire, for example. But just wanted to show you kind of picking this thing up and what it's like, because it is fairly large, so you do kind of have to, wrestle it up onto a shoulder. Now, these straps are pretty easy to adjust, so once you get them on there, you'll see there are these kind of, little clasps down here that you can basically pull down on these to tighten it up, or you can pull up on them to loosen the straps and make it a little bit looser. So you kind of just get it wherever you want it to be. And then once it's nice and tight, then it's on there. Again, fairly large. It is a big backpack. But, I mean, right now it's cooling. I can barely hear it. It's super quiet. If I wanted to go to camp and unplug it from my vehicle and then put the battery in and take it over and sit by a fire for 5 or 6 hours and have my drinks cold and not have to go back and forth to my vehicle, pretty handy. All right, guys, so that was the Litheli Frozenpack. As I mentioned, and as I've talked about throughout, this thing is a really unique product. It's a really interesting idea, right? It may or may not be something that is your cup of tea, depending on kind of your use case and what kind of trips you like to take. If you are an overlander and you're gonna be going on longer trips, you need more space. Maybe this isn't the thing for you, but if you are someone with kids in sports and you have to go out for, 3, 4, 5 hours at a time to a soccer field or something like that, ice in coolers can melt. Coolers are very limited on size too, or get very heavy and kind of hard to carry. With this thing, it's kind of like a combo, in my opinion, of a backpack cooler with a compressor built into it, basically, that will keep your food cold or even frozen, which you can't do with a cooler, for an extended period of time. You can buy multiple batteries if you need it to go longer. You can also plug it into your vehicle, as I mentioned. So just having the flexibility to maybe kind of take it on a longer trip, maybe to like a sporting event that's far away, like a travel team event or something, plugged into your vehicle, and then when you get there, pop a battery into it and take it out to the field with you, is pretty cool. If you are into shorter trips, so like that's kind of what my use case is going to be for it. If I'm taking like a quick overnighter or something with my kids and I just want to bring some snacks or some drinks or something like that, I can plug it into my vehicle. I can take the backpack with me, And then when I get to camp, I can pop it out, take it right over by the fire, set it down next to my chair, and then we can access our drinks and stuff all night. And then again, throw it back in the vehicle, plug it back in if I need it to keep going, or just, you know, eat all the food out of it or drink all the drinks out of it, and then toss it back into the truck and take it home and charge the battery back up and be ready for the next trip. So again, I hope that information was helpful for you. I hope that this is a cool, sort of interesting thing, even though it is different from anything you've probably seen before. Again, if you're interested, I'll put a link down below to the Indiegogo that they've got going. It starts on July 30th, so be looking for that for sure, and definitely get in there and check it out if you're interested. But that'll do it for the Litheli Frozenpack. Down in the description below will be links to all my other social channels, so if you want to join the conversation or get all things overlanding, definitely check those out. Also below this video is a join button. That's just kind of a passive way to support the channel, and it gets you early access to stuff like this video. So if you want to get things before anyone else, that's a good way to get some exclusive content before it actually drops live to the rest of YouTube. There's also a link to my website down below where I've got funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check that out. Then there's also a link to my Patreon page where we've got a 24/7 Discord. We all kind of chat and hang out all the time. We do a once a month Zoom call, and we're doing a couple trips every year, which are going to be a ton of fun. And then last but not least, there is a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group, totally free to join, tons of awesome members in there, different from the bigger groups. If you're kind of tired of all the arguing and bullying and stuff in the bigger overlanding groups, this may be a good one for you if you're getting started or if you're just tired of the bullying. So again, I hope that video was helpful for you. Click that like button if so, and we'll see you next time.